That round 9, I think Fury's now going to be a bit more cautious with that.
Pro boxing fans, we are here in Riyadh once again with my friend Ade Oladipo. Let's talk about the next Riyadh season card. There is obviously the Latino card.
Oh, yes.
But I do want to talk about December 21st. The card's been announced. I do want to talk about the main event. Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk. A couple of questions on this. First of all, Tyson's done an interview, I think, with Undisputed, which is the game that's come out.
Yeah.
Or is coming out this week. If you haven't got it, get it.
Look at that plug. Look at that plug. You're getting money, ain't you? You're getting a bit of money. He's on the payroll. He's on the payroll.
I'm just happy that there's a boxing game.
Nah, it's well done to everyone.
But look, let's talk about that one. Tyson Fury said that for his last fight, they had to be a little bit careful in sparring because there was potentially still a cut there. There was a big payday.
That's true. That's true.
Does that then, in perspective, change things now? Because he said at the end of the day, there was no cause for concern on fight night. We've seen that, so now everything seems to be back to normal. Do you feel like, with that all eradicated, that we're good to go with Tyson? Tyson gets a better camp this time?
You know, I don't want to give Tyson an excuse. And the reason I don't is because I asked him about the cut and he said the cut's fine. Oh, no, don't worry about the cut. So now he's using the cut as some type of, little bit of an excuse. So I don't want to give him an excuse. I just think he was in there against a supreme boxer and they both duked it out and Oleksandr Usyk won. And I mean, they could fight 100 times and it could go 60-40 in someone's favor. It could go 70-30. These two are very, very good. And I think we're going to see pretty much the same in when they fight December 21st. I think the only problem for Fury is that Usyk now knows, and he might not have known it before, he now knows he can hurt Fury. He can really hurt him. Because Fury was as hurt. I know he went down against Deontay Wilder, and he's been down a few times in his career, but that's the most I think I've seen Fury hurt. Like where he's all over the ring. That third Wilder fight where his body kind of wobbled was a punch, but he seemed to kind of be okay with that. He got up and does what Fury does. That round 9, I think Fury's now going to be a bit more cautious with that. Because you know the kind of things that Fury does, hands down, it's going to be like that now. So Usyk knows he can hurt Fury. Fury knows he can hurt Usyk as he did uppercut to the body. It's a great fight. You know, I think fight fans need to watch that fight back.
Yeah.
Because a lot of fight fans seem to think Usyk won it easily, and he didn't. I mean, there might have been round 5 or 6 where I was like, Chris Mannix was next to me and I kind of wrote, I said, oh, Fury's got this. Because that's how confident I was at that time. And then round 7, it just turned, and 8, 9, and 10 just, obviously all Usyk. But Fury came back into it, 11, 12. It's such an intriguing fight. I mean, I know you've not asked me this, but I would put my money on Oleksandr Usyk. Just because I'm going to put my money on always the person that did it the first time.
Yeah.
But it's so close. I mean, I say money, I probably put £1 on it because I'm not confident either way, but it's a great fight.
I asked Jonathan Banks this question actually yesterday because he was there with the Klitschko's, man, so he's seen the heavyweight division.
Of course, yeah.
And I asked him, listen, do you feel like Oleksandr Usyk's got more levels to the game? Because what we've seen is very high level. Do you believe that idea that he's got more levels to his game, and he'll show that on December 21st?
Jeez, if he's got more levels, then that's quite frightening. Because I feel like I've seen the levels already. I feel like I've seen him with AJ. I saw it the way in which he closed the show with Daniel Dubois after he got hurt, and he did get hurt in that fight. I've seen it with Tyson Fury. Honestly, if there's more to Usyk, then everyone's in trouble. Because I honestly feel like there can't be more. Surely, I mean, this guy is in his mid-30s. He's had a very long amateur career. He's took punishment as a heavyweight as well. I just think there's more confidence with him now. Again, it's the knowing that, oh, okay, I can beat you. I can hurt you, you giant of a man. So I think there's more than levels. I think it's confidence, and I think we're going to see a more confident Oleksandr Usyk this time around.
How much composure does he have? Because you see that with Usyk, he's been hurt with the Dubois, and you can talk about whether it was a low blow or not all day long, but how important is composure when you're on the back rope? So you've been hurt a little bit. How hard is it to stay composed? We've seen other fighters not being composed and get taken out in the past. How composed is Oleksandr Usyk under adversity in the ring if he does get
as an elite fighter? Like, he's probably one thing that fighters always say. I'm talking about the very best here. After the fight, they always say, I stopped listening to the corner. I should have listened to my corner. We hear that quite a lot as a reason as to why they lost. Or, we worked on things in camp that I didn't execute. You never have ever said that about Oleksandr Usyk. He seems to stick to a game plan regardless. And he gets you involved in his game plan as opposed to kind of changing styles and switching up to what you're doing. And look, I mean, when you were around Tyson Fury, all week. You have to be composed because it's chaos. You were here. It's chaotic. John Fury is chaotic. Team Fury is chaotic. And if Oleksandr Usyk can stay composed in fight week, he's definitely going to stay composed fight night. He's a man that's really focused. He had a dream that was to become undisputed. He's done it twice in 2 different weight classes. I think he's pound for pound number one. I know people will say Crawford, but I think he's pound for pound number one. He's a 222 pound heavyweight fighting in the land of the giants and beating them up. I think he's insanely good. Composure, back foot fighting, can put it on the front foot. He was on the front foot against Tyson Fury. You kidding me? Yeah. On the front foot against a giant. He's insane.
Just a final one or two from myself. With Tyson and actually Anthony Joshua, how much hunger do you believe there is there? Because now they're getting paid a lot of money. Do you feel like the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight that should happen at some point next year is the final hurrah with a big payday? Or do you feel like because there's so much money involved in boxing right now that you're going to see them carry on for a good couple of years?
They're not short of a few quid. I mean, there's a lot of money, but both of their bank accounts must be just pumping right now. Do you know? I think they're okay financially. I would like to think it would be a final hurrah. I'm not that bothered about seeing it. I know some people are very like, oh, we've got to see it. I wanted to see it 5 years ago when there was an argument they were number one and number two. Or even a year ago where there was still, before...
When it does get announced, you're going to be going crazy.
Oh, I will probably go crazy. You're right, I'll take it back. I think it will be a Khan Brook situation where they fight and neither of those guys retire straight after the fight. There were still rumors about them having fights. But eventually, as we've seen with Khan Brook, they both have kind of called it quits. So it could be that where they're always linked to fights, but never have a fight. So they never officially announce, oh, okay, we're done, we're out of it, as boxers never really do. So the door will always be open, but I don't think they'll walk through the door. Kind of similar to Andre Ward, actually, where after Andre Ward beat Kovalev, there were so many fights on the table, and he always felt like he was coming back, he teased us, and then eventually you realise he's never fighting. So I think it could be a case of they do that. And I want them to do that. They've been so good for British boxing, and I want them to kind of walk off into the sunset with all their faculties in place, no injuries. The sport is so dangerous. So why can't they just go away healthy and just enjoy life, because they've entertained us so much for the last decade or so.
Final one. What's your thoughts now we get closer to Jake Paul, Mike Tyson? Ade, I spoke to Ade about this and he's been very vocal about that. Listen, I'm going to walk out before that fight starts. He's got Katie Taylor on the
card, yes, obviously. Of course, yeah, I forgot about that.
He said, listen, I'm not going to watch that fight. I find it disrespectful to a legend of the sport. What's your stance now we get closer, and especially after Mike Tyson went through a little bit of a health scare only a couple of months ago?
A little bit. No, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan. And why should I be a fan of it? This is, what's Mike now, 58?
Something like
that, 58? Like, what are we doing? Like, look, I've come from, or at least I've done events in the misfits world, right? And that is to an extent ridiculed. But at least, apart from one fight where he had two severely overweight guys, I remember there was two severely overweight guys fighting, but at least to an extent, it's young people fighting young people. Relatively healthy people. Can they box? No. But they're healthy, they're young. Mike, like, I saw an image a few months ago of Mike in a wheelchair against Jake Paul, who I saw hitting the bag by the way the other day. Big, strong, healthy. Like, Jake's been doing this now, what, several years? Like, he's not a novice anymore. Jake can fight, Jake can hit. I've spoken to a few guys he's fought before, and they're like, Jake can punch. So I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what you get out of, apart from making bucket loads of money, I don't know what you get out of fighting Mike. Some people might say that's the answer, bucket loads of money. But again, Jake's not poor. So can he just fight KSI and get done with it? Like, just fight KSI, like, fight someone young, relatively your size, a Tommy Fury rematch. I think that done well over here, didn't it? Was it Dubai? Where that fight was? Was here, yeah? Like, I don't get what you get out of fighting Mike at 58. Mike tricked us all when he fought Roy Jones 5 years ago, and those clips came out and Mike looked amazing. I was like, oh my God, Mike's back, oh my Lord. And then in the fight he couldn't move. So if that was 4 years ago, it's not like Mike's been living the life since then. Even if you have been living a life, say like Mike has been a nun, 58 is 58, man. Do you know what I mean? It's silly. Like, even, I don't know how old Bernard Hopkins is. Bernard Hopkins lived a life, didn't he? I wouldn't put Bernard in with Jake. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't make any sense. So credit to Jake Paul and what they're doing, but just fight some people your own age, your own size, and your own ability at this stage. That's all we're asking.
Ade, it's always a pleasure, mate. I know you've got to go and sort of prep for the zone and stuff.
Thank you very much. Don't need prep, I just turn up, brother.
It's always a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much.
Cheers, my man. Thank you.
Always top man.
Top man.